Yo, so Cafecito Time candles and melt are now available, guys. The smell is unbelievable. And I'm not just saying this, but my house smells so damn good. Every time I come in, everyone's like, are you making coffee? I'm like, nope, it is my new candle. So exclusively just for our listeners, if you use HERR 10, you will get 10% off our melts and the candle. I like them both, so I can't suggest one or the other. I have the melts upstairs in my room, and the candle burns downstairs. So make sure you get yours exclusively only at Twin Candle Co. Make sure you use HERR 10. All right, guys, this episode is brought to you by Major Beauty. Your girl is about to hook you up because y'all know how I do my lashes all the time. And Major Beauty is going to offer $20 off your initial full set of lashes, and the first 6 months you can also use this promo code HERR20 and you can get $20 off your membership because she does offer membership services. So she not only does eyelashes, she also does permanent makeup, those new henna eyebrows. If you're not ready to go full force on the tattooing of the eyebrows, you can try them out by getting this henna stuff done. I haven't tried it because y'all know I got microbladed eyebrows, but I do use Kiana for my lashes. She is my new lash tech. I'm loving her. She's great and she's super duper professional, and you're going to love her little studio. So check her out, The Major Beauty. Make sure you use promo code HERR20 to get a discount off your full set and your membership for the next 6 months, guys. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. I'm really excited about today's podcast because we have Natalia one more time with FireyouP. And before we get started, I always like to start with the positive quote, and I think this is perfect for today, Natalia, just because this is what you're kind of about. But if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. So I think that's kind of you 100% all the time, just because you're all about having goals and helping women. So update us. How did the last workshop go?
Yeah, so we are actually in the middle of a season right here in the fall, and we are connecting with these women, breaking the ice. At the beginning of our workshops, there is a lot of fear and hesitation in the sense that you don't know anybody, right? So all the participants come in kind of thinking, okay, what am I doing here? And then they start breaking the ice. They start making those connections, letting their guard down. And it's been awesome. We are in the second weekend so far, and we're going to have an amazing mental health retreat day that you're going to be a part of as well. And we're super excited to have you. Thank you so much for supporting what we're doing. And I think that this specific workshop that's coming up is going to help them open up even more, because it's when they share their stories and they understand that they're not alone. So it's going to be beautiful. And we're excited about, this upcoming workshop. And we have a couple more seasons next year in the spring. So we're already preparing for those as well. And right now, just enjoying ourselves and connecting with our new participants.
How many are on this in this season?
In this season, we have a smaller season because it's the holiday season. So we have 16. And
that's still a lot. 16 women, that's still a lot, even though. What does your normal season look like? When the last time you were here, how many women signed up?
So 25 to 30 is the normal. But again, this season and during the holidays is really hard for everybody to block a lot of weekends, just because people are traveling and there is just a lot of commitments on events and a lot of things going on. But one thing that makes this season special is the sense that it's a more intimate group. So there is more opportunity to open up and have more of like one-on-one interactions with our coaches and more hands-on training. So every season brings a new blessing and a new challenge, and is a little different every time. Also because the participants have completely different backgrounds and personalities. So every season is so unique. And this one is very special because of the intimacy of what we're creating.
For sure. I think last time when you were on, we kind of just spoke about your story and how FireyouP came about. for those of those who are listening and just kind of like, I don't know if this is for me, I'm not that great at, participating with other women. That's always kind of the hesitant. Like you said, they come in, they kind of don't know each other. They're kind of feeling like, I don't know. How do you go about deciding who is going to teach this, teach that? How do you decide your curriculum? Is it always the same, or do you change it up as for every season that you have?
We don't really change it up that much. We do bring in some new coaches. Sometimes it all depends on what the season, how long the season is going to be, and all of that. But the core curriculum doesn't change much, and we do invite new guest speakers like yourself. You're going to be new this season, but other than that, it stays pretty much the basics of what it is, the program, which is all based on mental health. Fitness and nutrition is also a big part of the program. And then the sisterhood, the building that sisterhood and helping those women really connect and open up in a safe environment.
Why fitness and why is that help? Why is that important for you to have that nutrition and health part in your curriculum?
It's a big part of it because I feel like that's where they start building that confidence. It also affects the chemicals in your brain straight up. Like as soon as you work out, that serotonin levels and all of that changes. So it gives you a little bit more energy and more motivation. And you start seeing things from a different perspective when you're working out and eating healthier. You physically start feeling more energized because you're eating better foods and you're actually moving your body. So that creates a lot of momentum. It creates confidence because they start noticing changes in their body as well.
Sure.
So the fitness and nutrition aspect of things is super key. It also helps them build the mindset that they need in order to conquer other areas of their lives. So having discipline and showing up regardless of how you feel when you go to the gym, even if you don't feel like it, but you still show up and you create consistency, those principles can be applied also to other areas of your life. And that's why it's so key and such a base of everything that we do.
Do you find that a lot of women come in and they're like, yeah, fitness is not for me? Are they kind of like a little negative about it? Because right now, the reason why I ask you that is because I feel right now we're in this era where we're encouraging to be big. Like, I don't know if you see that a lot of people are like doing TikToks and reels where they applaud being overweight, or like it's a good thing, like we should be overweight. I did a podcast how many weeks back, Rob, was that? Whenever we talked about like
probably like 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, where I said, to me, it has nothing to do with vanity, right? It's nothing to that effect. For me, it's more like, don't you want to live long? Like, I don't have health wise, like, if you take care of yourself, then you're less likely to have any type of health issues in the future. I also feel like foods and exercise also can affect your mental state as well. Would you agree?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, no, I believe that should be the message is health, is also taking care of, like you said, your future as well. Because if you're not moving your body and exercising now and eating the right foods, you're also going to see it in a few years. Once you're older and you start getting, like the age, kind of like issues that comes with that. And if you don't take care of yourself now, it really will show later on. And I think that we should start early. Like even kids should be more active now. Kids should be like playing outside and doing more physical, playing sports, teaching kids to be more sociable and learning how to eat when at an early age. Teenagers also have a lot of issues with this right now, that all they want to do is just be on their phone and nothing else, and they don't want to do anything active. I think that is also hurting their communication skills.
Sure.
Again, the fitness and nutrition is such a big part of any human being, and I believe that it should be more focus on the health aspect of things. So when I see people promoting obesity or overweight women and portraying that as a healthy thing or as a love yourself no matter what, I feel like loving yourself is also taking care of your body.
Exactly.
And that's how we really show the love to ourselves is taking care of our body. So it's tough. It's tough to see that nowadays things are changing so much in that aspect. And now people are promoting plus size and just being unhealthy. I think
it is. And that's why I'm so glad that you do provide that, because I think sometimes people don't have the knowledge about nutrition. They don't know how to get started. They don't understand why it's important. I know Colombian food is good. Mexican food is good, so sometimes it's kind of like, you want to eat it, but everything in moderation is how I see it, so it's great that you offer that. Do you feel you have more women that join that are single or married or single moms, or or is it everything? Is it a variety of things? What do you see most as with as many times as you've had it? What do you see more of a pattern happening?
There is really everything. Every season has a little bit of everything. We have teenagers. We also have moms
teenagers
that have a lot of kids. A lot of times we have moms that have 3 or 4 kids, and they still do it, which I think I take my hat off to them because I don't have kids, and I can only imagine like how it is to schedule it out for you to be able to be there on Saturdays. We also have had single mothers too, but there is not like one group that takes over the other. We always have a little bit of everything every season. And I think that makes the program very special and unique, and is the sense that you can learn so much from an older woman, but those older women can also learn a lot from the younger ones, and they see themselves in each other. And I think that also creates a more unique experience.
And a pretty cool bond, though, I assume, because you're with these women every Saturday. So you're learning, especially like if you're a mom with teenagers and there's a teenager there, you kind of can see someone else's perspective, I assume, right? Like where they're coming from and how they see things, because I think a lot of times moms have more challenges with teenagers because they're going through this change and they think they know everything. And, I was a teenager once. I'm guilty of, I know, mom, I know, you don't need to tell me, how that goes. So I think they probably learn a lot from each other while being around one another. Would you say?
Yes, definitely. I think that is a very important aspect of the program, is learning from each other, not just from the coaches that come in and help them, but also from each other. They also do lunches together, so you can see them go on smaller groups and start building those connections and speaking freely about what they're going through. And I think that's also a big part of it, is providing friendships and women that are actually going to be supportive of one another instead of like judging them. So I think that's a big part of it as well, is the friendships that are built throughout the program. And we have a session in the morning, and then everybody goes out to lunch, and then we come back in the afternoon for a second session. So I think that those lunch breaks and creating that connection is really awesome.
Yeah. Let me ask you something on a personal level here. What season is this that you're on right now?
5th.
Okay. So that means there's been 5 times that you've been in every one, and every one, I'm sure it's different. What do you take away from every season? What do you learn differently from every season? Because you as the director, you as the person who came up with this idea of this would be a great way for women to grow, become, learn, etc. I'm sure it feels good to watch these women go through your program and then come back and tell you like, thank you so much for this. But what do you as a person every time, what do you learn from every single season that you've gone through?
The thing that I take the most would be the reminder of living my life with purpose. And I think that once you find that why and that purpose and why you do things the way you do, I feel like that is a beautiful thing. It's a reminder that I was put on this earth to do that. And those women every season, they're my motivation, because when I'm going through crisis, and I always tell them, like, I'm struggling too. I have had depression in the past, but that's something that I continue to work on a daily basis. Those women in every season, when I see them fighting for themselves and I see them showing up to the classes regardless of how they feel, I take the motivation. They inspire me. And they see me, oh, you're the inspiration, like they see me as the leader, right, of the group. But at the same time, I always tell them, you guys are my why. And you guys are giving me the strength that I sometimes need to get out of bed. So that is what I take. I take all the fire that they built also within themselves. And that is very contagious. When you see a girl that's struggling, but she's still like pushing through it, like this weekend we were doing a workout, and you could just see it in their face that they're ready to give up. They're like this close to literally stop doing what they're doing, and they push through. So those small moments to me are a huge motivation and inspiration to continue doing this and to continue living my life in purpose and helping them find their purpose as well, so they don't quit what they love to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Do you go into the classes as well, or do you just kind of observe from the back because it's so busy?
Yeah, no. So I am more of, I try to go back and forth. Like I'm not taking the class with them, but I am watching, the interactions happen. And if I have something to add, or if I see that someone has a specific question, or then I get on a little bit more hands on.
Sure.
Like, to give you an example, we did our Walking with Confidence workshop. And this workshop is so fun because we're teaching women how to literally let go and walk with confidence and show their personality. So we were teaching them like how to turn. And a lot of them were overthinking the turn, and they were like slowing down before they turned because they felt they were going to fall. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't help it but to go out there and turn with them. So I am hands-on depending on what it is that's happening. But for the most part, I'm watching them, and I'm enjoying also the process of seeing them like transform in every Saturday. And sometimes, since they're inside the program, they don't see it the way I do, in the sense that they think, oh my God, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. And I can see that they're actually like growing and getting better. And I can also see what they're going to be like in a couple of weeks. So it's very exciting to me to see them grow. Every single Saturday they grow.
Yeah. How long is it again, the program?
It's 6 weeks, 6 weekends in a row.
So this Saturday will be how many weeks?
This Saturday is the exact half of it. So it's going to be 3 weeks. You're at the half mark.
And then when do you start them over again? Do you wait until after the new year and then hit it off like in February, or how often do you have start it over?
Yeah, about in the spring, about February or March. Then that way it gives people, enough time to get out of the holidays, and then we kick off the next season. The spring season is a very special one, just because the weather is really nice, so that helps. Also, people are in a very
different spirit. Yeah,
spring. And it's a lot of fun, and just people have a little bit of more flexibility with their schedules. And we're also going to be doing a retreat next year in the spring for those women. I have had a lot of applications for women that cannot commit to the full 6 weeks because they either work on Saturday, so that's really tough, or they're the ones that take care of another family member on Saturday.
Sure.
I wanted to create an opportunity for women that maybe cannot do the full 6 weeks, but more of an intensive retreat of 3 days. So that's also going to be a thing that happens in the spring, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good way of kind of stepping away from your routine and also connecting with amazing women and moms and everybody that wants to join.
Will they be staying there, or they get to go home and come back?
They'll be staying there.
That's going to be so good because I think that sometimes when you you're bonded with people and you don't have a choice but to be with them, you tend to learn about where different people come from, the different experiences, why they're there, what they're looking for, what they're wanting to gain from, from this workshop. I've been to like self-help workshops before, and it's always really cool to see. And sometimes, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but you talk to someone and then you're like, okay, my situation is not that bad. Like, because there's people that are even going through it even harder than you may think you are, but you're really not. It's like yours is very small compared to someone else's who's dealing with a whole lot, and they're really there to gain confidence, like what you offer, feel better about themselves, learn how to, walk with confidence, like you said, and, learn about taking care of their body and so forth. And I think a lot of women in general have a hard time with the fitness part because they're so afraid of the gym. And so I think they're afraid to step into a gym. And I think sometimes women just kind of like, I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you'll see them not want. I've always used to get this, like, I'm afraid to go to the weights because there's too many guys there, So I think the fact that you teach them about all this is so good. In your program, right? Do you actually see that there's some women that are coming to you and then wanting to be a part to help you? Like, what can I do to give back? Like, I really like what you're doing. I would love to be able to do the same for other women. Do you find that?
Yes, definitely. We've had a lot of support from women that have gone through the program and they actually become a sponsor of the program. And they want to pay it forward and actually pay a seat for someone else to enjoy it and also grow. So every season we have people, women that step up and former participants that want to pay it for somebody else. I have had friends of mine as well that haven't been through the program but believe fully in what we're doing. So we receive scholarship applications, and some of these women cannot afford the program, so they actually find a sponsor to actually be able to do it. And so that's one of the things that I really, really love about the program, and that also inspires me, is the fact that other women see the potential in other people and want to do it, and they fully believe in what we're doing. So that is huge for us. We also have like brands and sponsors like Telemundo, like Chi, like different sponsors that really understand and believe in what we're doing, and they want to be a part of as well. So we've been very, very lucky. And I know that, this is just the beginning of what's to come, because I don't want money to be a thing that stops people from joining, because this is something that should be available for everybody, right?
Sure.
But of course there are costs and things that come with doing the program as well. So it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamics, I guess, but we do have a lot of women that support what we're doing, and I'm so grateful and thankful to them.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because they probably feel like they left with so much knowledge to where it's like, oh my God, another female needs to experience this, or another female needs to go through the program so that they can experience what I experienced,
Yes.
In the future, where do you want to see FireyouP? How, because although this is a program for other women, this is also something that is, because we're going to speak about goals, right, on Saturday. And so this is also something that was a goal of yours, right? To create something where women are able to come together, learn, feel confident, do things like that. So where do you see FireyouP in the next 3 years? Where do you want to see it? Like, do you want it to be a conference? Is it, no, I like my small, 6 week, every Saturday type of thing? Or where do you want to see FireyouP be in the next 3 years?
Mm-hmm. I want it to be a program that's more open to a lot more women. Like I said, there are so many applications that come in. but not everybody can afford it. So I would love to have bigger sponsors that buy seats for the ladies, and that we can open up a bigger scholarship program for them. That's where I would like to see it. I would like to see it more along the lines of that, of people applying for it for a scholarship program, and to be able to receive, more women into the program. Because I do know that the financial aspect of things is something that stops people sometimes, but I don't want that to be the case. And then, continue doing it every season, blessing as many people as we can and creating that ripple effect. Because another big thing that I've seen is the participants also want to help someone else and they create also their own movements, and they create programs to bless other women as well. And I think that that's another big part of it. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of the former participants following their passion and creating their own to help other women as well, and just spreading the fire literally all over. I don't want it to be only Houston. I'm sorry?
You should create a training where it's a Fire You Up, so that you can open up, like, where you go train other women. I just thought about this right now. Where you go train other women. It's still part of Fire You Up, but go to like maybe Dallas, train a group of women there to have this event for you, and maybe start it small. I don't know, just maybe.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like spreading more in more locations. I think that's a big part of it. Because right now we're in Houston, right? But there are people that have applied that live in Austin or live in another state. So that would be awesome to create it and make it more of a national movement where anybody can join. Yeah. So again, a lot ahead of me, but I really hope that, God continue giving me the energy and the motivation to keep expanding, and that He also brings the right people in place, because there is only so much I can do, but I pray that God is going to continue opening those doors and guiding my steps to meet the right people in order to expand and make this a bigger blessing for more people.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Do you ever feel like your husband would want to do this for men? Because I think men need something like this too. Don't you think, Rob?
I completely agree, Natalia. I'm not on the camera, but I feel like people like Jordan Peterson and some of these like psychologists are kind of trying to do that through the internet. But an actual event, like the only person I can think of is Tony Robbins. It probably does. It's for men and women, but I think men take a lot from his huge seminars.
But see, she has different women that come in and do these different little workshops. So can you imagine if there was one for men? Your husband needs to be on here right now so we can tell him. Can you imagine if there was one for men where it was like teaching you, like, I don't know, how to be a man.
Oh, yeah.
How to be a husband, how to be a father,
how to be a father,
how to be handy, how to survive.
Things, all
there
those
are
things.
A lot of topics that men can learn for sure. I think that the difference though is that maybe men are not as used to opening up. And kind of speaking about their emotions. I think that that's something that is easier for women, but maybe that could be a thing that we teach them. How to open up.
We need it's got to be limited though.
We need to Fire You Up men's edition, like once a year.
Fire you up, bro.
Fire you up, bro.
I have gotten that request already to create Fire You Up Men.
Because I bet you anything, these women that take this workshop then go home and their attitude has to be different too towards their spouse, towards their kids. So if you see a change in your spouse and you're like, okay, maybe I need to work on myself too. Where do I go? You know what I'm saying? So
it's true.
Yes, that's very true. And I have had husbands call me after the season and they're like, hey, so I just wanted to thank you. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you.
Or even do like a couples class, like something where it's like, okay, this day your husband gets to come to experience, you know what I'm saying? Like what not so much what they're learning, because I think it's a personal thing when you're there, obviously for a program like what you offer, but like something that would offer like a class together. Like, okay, just because she's taken this, she's taken all this because she wants to be a better person. So you need to come in and join so that you can see what being better is.
Natalia, let me ask you this, because we always talk about like everything is about the journey, right? Like the thing, whether it's life or your career or whatever you do. So with Fire You Up, have you found anything out that was just not something you were looking for, that you're like, oh, I just found this out about this whole process? Like the journey like showed you something else that you weren't necessarily looking for?
No, not really. I can't think of anything.
So
You
everything's
mean
going
something-
like just the whole like the experience of like putting on these events, like changing people's lives. Like has anything that's kind of surprised you that came out of all these events?
something that surprised me. No, I mean, surprising, I would say maybe the fact that the women want to sponsor someone else. That was a little surprising at the beginning.
That's
I wasn't
cool.
expecting that, and I thought that that was the coolest thing. I was like, okay,
It's like
that's
the
amazing.
equivalent
The
of like
fact
at
that they feel
Starbucks.
so empowered.
You know, at Starbucks,
that?
when somebody pays for the car behind them, it's like that times like a million, you know? Like I'm going to pay for somebody's seat at the event.
The fact that they want to pay it forward. That to me is it's amazing. We're gonna be doing a reunion with all of our seasons so far. Every 5 seasons, we're gonna do a reunion with.
That's
Which you're
genius.
gonna be invited,
Oh,
Marisol,
thank you.
for
That's
all of
so
us to come
smart.
together in December, and we're gonna be inviting everybody that has been part of Fire You Up since the very beginning. So that will be a lot of fun in the sense that they're gonna be seeing each other after years when the program started. So that will be awesome. So you'll see the participants, the sponsors, the coaches, and everybody just
That's
create
so
a
cool.
giant flame. So you're invited, Marisol.
Thank you. So from the first one to right now, what do you see, like, what growth have you seen from the first one to season 5 right now?
I would say that the biggest improvement that we've seen, or what I see that we're really good at, is creating the order of events or the order of the workshops, because we have learned where they are mentally and what topic and what subject to speak when. So the timing of things has been a big part of it. To get the most out of the experience is strategically placing the workshops in the way that helps them develop in a very smooth and natural way, if that makes sense.
You know how right now they say what is the attention span right now, Rob?
It's like 8 seconds.
It's like 8 seconds
Oh, wow.
of a person, which is why the reason why reels are so
Shorts,
fast. They're
TikTok.
shorts. Everything is short. Do you ever find yourself feeling like, oh my God, like, how do I make it to where they're interested from the start to the end? Because they'll, sometimes now we're tempted to get on the phone, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or they want to like put it on social media that they're there. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the whole social media thing? Because I feel like social media too, if you're not a strong person, I feel, or you're not confident, or any of those things, I feel like social media can influence a woman in making them feel like they have to alter themselves so much because they want to look like so-and-so that they follow, or, they want to, this celebrity or whatever. Do you find that as you have done this, do you find women comparing themselves to someone on social media or something along the social media lines?
Mm-hmm. I see more of those challenges in the Miss Texas Latina program that I direct, because it's more related to, okay, yes, the likes, the followers, the attention that you're getting online. With Fire You Up, I don't see that as a big issue, because the women that commit to Fire You Up are more focused on really getting the most out of the program. So I don't see them as distracted on their phone. I think that these women are just so fed up with being in a rut or being in a depressive state of mind that they want to actually get out. So I think that the phone or the social media is not as big of a challenge that it is in the Miss Texas Latina program, because in that program is more about, right, the competition is like who's going to be watching my stuff and things like that. So in Fire You Up, that has not been a big of a challenge. I guess the bigger challenge in Fire You Up with social media would be for them to be confident enough that if we take a story or if we take a picture of them, that they're okay with actually being online. So that's more of the challenge. It's stepping out of your comfort zone and understanding that social media is also a powerful tool. And if you know how to use it wisely, you can open up a lot of doors for your business and also for the things that you're passionate about. So the focus of the social media and Fire You Up is more along the lines of becoming confident in front of the camera, of learning how to take those photos and learning how to really project confidence on social media, and not letting social media make you feel less than someone else. Just because someone is posting happy photos all the time and trips and all that, that doesn't mean that they have a perfect life.
Okay. I was just curious about that. If the older women, or you know what I'm saying, or even women in general, just because we're in the era of social media, you know, everybody just always wants to be on their phone. It's funny because at church, I'll even see it sometimes. I try to, like, if I want to post anything about church, I try to take a picture right before everything gets started. But I'll notice sometimes people like will be holding up their phone like through the whole, you know, service. And I'm like, they do televise it live on YouTube. You do know that. Right? So I'm always curious if, like, you know, people are here and they're wanting other people to see, because it's about an experience also, you know, with Fire You Up. It's the whole experience of meeting women, building confidence, team building, all those things that they're there for. It's like, hey, I want to share this on social media too. Look what I'm doing. So, you know, I wondered if they're distracted with the whole social media.
I think the tours, like closer to the end of the program, that they're more confident and they're like wanting to like show off more than yes. And it also has to do with their personalities. Just some women are more extroverts and they're very active on social media. So those will want to share. But the ones that are more like shy and maybe self-conscious, they won't do it at the beginning, but towards the end of it, they start like getting like really like excited about it, and they see the transformation. They feel confident enough to say, you know what, I want to share with the world what I'm doing and how I'm transforming. So you do see a lot of that towards the end. And we also have a awesome workshop in which we teach them how to pose for the camera and how to model.
Oh my gosh.
So that is a lot of fun.
Good. I need to go to that one. That's what I need
Once
to go
they
to.
learn their best angle and they look and feel cute, then it's a lot of fun to see how then they want to do it more and more.
Oh my gosh,
so
how
that's
cute.
awesome. Yeah.
Before we let you go, for those of my listeners who maybe didn't hear our first interview with you, tell them what Fire You Up is all about. Like, tell them about the program. If you want to know how it got started, go back to listen to the last episode we had with Natalia, because she went in depth on how this program came about. Is your dad still helping?
Absolutely. Yeah. My dad is a huge part of the whole thing. And every season he has new ideas and he's all about it. Yes.
That's so awesome. So tell people about Fire You Up in general so that they have an idea. It can be on the lookout for, you know.
Kind of like the mission statement of it.
Yeah, the mission statement of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So Fire You Up is a self-discovery program for women of all ages and all nationalities to really discover their purpose, find their passion, and really, really step out of your comfort zone to level up and be the best version of you that you can be.
Mm. And your dad, how does he help you with the entire program?
He's my mentor. I feel like my dad is my life director. He has helped me so much with believing in myself. So everything that I do for the girls and how I encourage them, he does for me. Because I also have self-doubt. Like every other person, I also doubt myself sometimes, like, okay, this or that. But then he has such a big vision in life. And I love the way he lives life. Is a very fearless approach, and also being present and understanding that you can do literally anything you set your mind to. So he helps me with that. He's like my fire, right?
Yeah.
Like he helps me be more fearless, and he makes me make big decisions without so much hesitation of what if. He's like, just go for it. You never know what can happen. So there has been a lot of like jumps in my life that I had to make. And my dad has always been the one that says, let's go for it. You got this. The worst that can happen is this or that, but you're going to become a better person, and you're going to learn and maybe try out different things. And if that doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that there is another way that is gonna be the one that helps you. So he's just a very positive person. He deals with a lot of things back home. He lives in Colombia, and he handles it with so much grace and so much just passion that he's a huge inspiration. And if I ever make Fire You Up a nonprofit organization, or it becomes something really big, my dad will always be part of that board of directors, and he will always be one of the founders, because we founded it together. We created the logo together. We decided the colors together. So he's awesome. I love my dad.
and it shouldn't be, Natalia, if Fire You Up ever becomes, it's when Fire You Up becomes a big organization with a bunch of sponsors. And you know what I'm saying? All of the above.
Speak it into existence.
Speak it into existence. Exactly. Thank you so much for being with us, Natalia. I really wanted you to come on because I think your program is really important. And I think we're in an era, that's the reason why I was saying about the social media thing. I think we're in an era where women just sometimes struggle with being confident, being sure about themselves, feeling like they're not enough, or, I'm just going to give up because, for what, type of thing. And I think the fact that, you provide that to so many women, I think it's great. And the fact that you even offer for anyone to try to apply for a scholarship for those, and you try to do your best so that those who can't afford it can find a way to afford it. So I think that's amazing. And I hope that you continue to do this for many years. And I hope that it's always super duper successful, because I think this is, it's needed right now. I think a lot of women need it, So thank you so much for being on again. I will see you Saturday. And I am going to post things on social media for those who are listening. Because I want for you guys to see this, because this will be my first time ever checking it out. So I'm very excited to see how it all works out.
Thank you, Marisol. I really appreciate you believing in us, and I can't wait for this workshop and how you're going to inspire a lot of women with your story as well. So thank you for having me. Thank you for believing in Fire You Up. And if anybody's interested in signing up for the spring season or the upcoming retreat, then they can just go to fireyouup.com, and we can't wait to meet everybody out there.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
See you this weekend. Bye-bye.
Ciao. See ya. Bye-bye.